Good morning, distinguished guests, Indigenous leaders, elected officials, members of the Howe family, project partners, colleagues, guests, welcome. We acknowledge that the land where the Gordie Howe International Bridge sits is a Anishinaabe territory. The Anishinaabe in the Windsor area are known as the Three Fires Confederacy, which consists of the Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations. This land has also served as a place of refuge for the Huron-Wendat people. Some days are remembered because they mark the end of a journey. Others are remembered because they mark the beginning of something entirely new. Today is both. On behalf of the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority, it is my honor to welcome you to the Gordie Howe International Bridge. My name is Chuck Anderi. I am the Interim Chief Executive Officer and Chief Legal Officer at WDBA. Behind us stands one of the most significant infrastructure achievements in Canada's history. WDBA began its journey in 2014 when this bridge existed as an idea, a vision, and a promise. Today, it stands as a remarkable accomplishment that will serve Canadians for generations to come. A vision fulfilled, a promise delivered, and a border crossing ready to welcome travelers. Its construction demanded ingenuity, perseverance, and an unwavering commitment to quality. It required thousands of people working toward a common goal and believing that something extraordinary could be achieved. Those people are the reason that we are here today. Engineers and designers, iron workers and laborers, equipment operators, skilled tradespeople, environmental specialists, safety professionals, inspectors, project managers, administrative teams, finance, procurement, legal advisors, operations teams, and communication professionals. At the core of the Gordie Howe International Bridge is collaboration, and WDBA has been a party to meaningful and positive partnerships over the years of project development and delivery. We are grateful for the teamwork with the Michigan Governor's Office, the Michigan Department of Transportation, U.S. Federal Highway Administration, the Government of Canada, Housing, Infrastructure and Communities Canada, the Government of Ontario, the cities of Detroit and Windsor, Bridging North America, and our neighboring communities. Many have devoted years of their professional lives to bringing this bridge to reality. Their work has created a lasting legacy for this region and for North America. As we celebrate the opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge, we also recognize the agencies who are working at the Canadian and U.S. ports of entry. Right here at this location is the Canada Border Services Agency and the Border Services officers who will bring this crossing to life every day, as well as the staff of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency. This bridge is a remarkable feat, and it is the people who work here who will ensure it operates safely, securely, and efficiently for generations to come. Thank you for your service, your professionalism, and your unwavering commitment to protecting our border while facilitating the travel and trade that strengthen our communities and our economies. And to everyone who played a role in this project, thank you. Once again, please join me in recognizing the thousands of individuals whose dedication brought us to this historic day. As we begin today's ceremony, it is important that we recognize the Indigenous communities whose enduring presence, history, and stewardship continue to shape this region. It is my honor to acknowledge Councillor Judy Peters, who is representing Chief Leela Thomas of Walpole Island First Nation, and thank Lonnie Dodge from Caldwell First Nation for performing a smudging ceremony as guests arrived, for helping clear the space and bringing good energy to everyone here. I welcome Darren Reitman from Walpole Island First Nation as we begin today's event by singing a morning song, followed by a blessing by Chief Nicky Van Orshaw of Caldwell First Nation.
Bonjour. Jiki oneni indigenous gash kejelang dunjaba ajak dodam. Se miigwech kejemena no miigwech ni when the nimak wabanang jawnang gabinami wan kiwed nong. Miigwech kejemena do aki shkakmakwe mishkwi and the bay. Miigwech kejemena do ni when mishkiki asema when gosh maskade washman gish conduct. Miigwech kejemena do amena mamatsuban. I say miigwech kejemena do. My partner, Wasigishkokwe, is going to help me sing a song in honor of these original flags of our people. We call them Miganotig, which are our eagle staffs. I give thanks to each and every one of you for being here today. I give thanks to Chief Nicky for being here and allowing us to be here also to take part of this celebration. Now let my beautiful wife introduce herself.
Bonjour, wasegish kokwe indigenous kashikan todem, kedronong hundunjaba, nishnabe budwadami kwendao, nin gigdo kwendao. My English name is Charlene, and I am an elected councillor of the Walpole Island First Nation. Miigwech.
Bujun dinwe maganadok, jindasan dishnikas, kajanong and dunjaba, jijak magay shaga dodem. My English name is Judy Peters. I'm an elected member of council for Walpole Island First Nation. I'm also a United States Air Force veteran and Eagle Staff carrier of our community Eagle Staff, as well as Okichida Zungda Awan, which is another Eagle Staff that I carry.
My name is Lonnie Dodge. I'm a Caldwell band member. I'm also the Eagle Staff carrier for our community. Thank you.
We're going to sing a song. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand in honor of our ancestors and the Three Fires Confederacy.
Ani Kenawea, Minogajeb. Just wanted to say, I acknowledge the Eagle staffs that are here from Walpole Island, Bikechenong Territory, and Caldwell First Nation. And thank us for opening us in a good way with that song. Nikki Van Orscott, Indigenous Cause, Caldwell First Nation, and Donjaba, Mikanak Nadodem, Mushkawezi, Nanda Moenkwe, Anishinabekwe, Ogimakwe. My name is Nikki Van Orscott. I am Chief of Caldwell First Nation, and our community is Place of the Red Cedar, and I come from the Turtle Clan. My spirit name means carries strong mind. I wanted to just extend my sincere gratitude for the warm welcome that we've had here, and I want to welcome everybody to our territory as well. We gather here today with grateful hearts to witness a moment that will connect people, communities, and nations for generations to come. We begin by giving thanks for this day, for the land beneath our feet, and the waters that surround and sustain us, and for all of creation. We give thanks for the winds that carry our prayers, the plants and animals who share this place with us, and for the gifts we so often take for granted. Today we stand along the shores of the Detroit River, a waterway that has connected peoples since time immemorial. Long before there were roads or bridges, these waters carried our ancestors, our stories, our trade, and our relationships. They remain a living reminder that connection has always been at the heart of this place. As Anishinaabe Potawatomi people of Caldwell First Nation, we recognize that every journey begins with respect for the land, for the water, and for one another. May this bridge serve not only as a pathway for commerce and travel, but also as a symbol of friendship, understanding, and cooperation between nations who all cross it. We honor the vision, dedication, and hard work of the many hands that brought this bridge to life. We remember that true progress is measured not only by what we build, but by how we care for one another and for the gifts the Creator has entrusted to us. We ask the Creator to watch over all who travel this bridge, keep them safe in every season and in every journey. May they arrive home to their loved ones, and may this crossing strengthen families, communities, and economies while reminding us of our shared responsibility to protect the lands and waters that make these journeys possible. May we continue to build bridges, not only of steel and concrete, but also of trust, respect, reconciliation, and lasting relationships. For the generations who walked before us, for those gathered here today, and for the children who will inherit what we leave behind, may our footsteps continue in a good way. Chi miigwech.
Thank you, Chief Van Orscott, for your thoughtful blessing, and Mr. Reitman for sharing the morning song. I invite those who are able to please rise again for the singing of our national anthem, performed by Lisa Citron, an officer of the Canada Border Services Agency.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Catomblase potele pega, il se potela qua. Ton histoire tu ne popea, de pluvios God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you, Lisa. Give her another round of applause. That was incredible. Projects of this magnitude require vision, leadership, and a commitment in investing in the future. They require governments willing to invest in projects that strengthen communities, support economic opportunity, and serve Canadians for decades to come. The Gordie Howe International Bridge represents that kind of investment. Please welcome the Honourable Gregor Robertson, Minister of Housing and Infrastructure and Minister responsible for Pacific Economic Development Canada.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good day. Bonjour tout le monde. It's great to be here today with so many of you to celebrate this incredible opening of more than a bridge today. We are here to celebrate this opening of big opportunities for workers, big opportunities for businesses, and maybe most importantly of all, big opportunities for the communities on both sides of this Detroit River. My thanks to the First Nations for getting us started in such a good way with song and blessing, reminding us of all we have to be grateful here today, and thank you for hosting us here in your stewardship of these lands and waters since time immemorial. We are here to celebrate the Gordie Howe Bridge as one of the most historic and significant infrastructure projects in North America, a project that is built through partnership, ambition, and certainly a shared belief of investing in modern state-of-the-art infrastructure that builds our country stronger today and for generations into the future. I'm so pleased to welcome you all. I was going to take a stab at introducing all of my colleagues who are elected to represent their communities, but there are so many of us here. But great to see you all, whether you're members of Parliament, Ali Assasi, Dominique O'Rourke, and Ariel Karibayan. We get to work together in the House of Commons with our other MPs from here in Windsor, Essex, and of course our provincial and local counterparts. We're going to hear from the Premier and the Mayor. So looking forward to celebrating this, regardless of our political stripes, and that's been the case for decades here, trying to get this bridge built and opened, regardless of what we say on the floor of the House or in Council. We're here to get this work done and work together in harmony. So here we go. Last night, I had the opportunity to see the lights, the lighting team working late into the night just up the river here. A really incredible light show that is going to be here going forward. I want to just give a special thank you to the artist Douglas Copeland, a great Canadian artist, for his work on helping illuminate this remarkable feat of engineering. It was great to meet Derek Wilson and his team, the WDBA team that are focused on that. The bridge architect as well, Eric Behrens, a world-class architect who has helped make this incredible piece happen. The lights are gorgeous. They will illuminate not just the bridge, but it's really the breathtaking work and the dedication of thousands of workers and Canadians who contributed to its development through the long, dark nights of our winter especially. This bridge is a testament of what we can build when we work together. And it represents the partnership, the resilience, and the belief that investing in the future strengthens us all. Every year, our two countries exchange approximately $1.3 trillion in goods and services. And that makes this the largest trading relationship in the world. We'll hear from our ambassador on that, I think, today. In 2025, Michigan exported $21.2 billion in goods into Canada. And here in Windsor, we are standing on a trade corridor that sees more than $300 billion in trade every year. Ce pont va renforcer ce partenariat pour les générations à venir. For the generations to come, for decades to come, the communities of Windsor and Detroit in past decades have carried the weight of one of the busiest trade corridors in the world. And these communities managed trucks moving through their neighborhood streets, delays disrupting the supply chains and the families, workers crossing the bridge, spent valuable time stuck in traffic. Le besoin d'un lien moderne et fiable pour soutenir nos économies et nos collectivités est devenu évident. Il était temps de bâtir pour l'avenir. And today we stand before a world-class crossing stretching 2.5 kilometers across the Detroit River. Its striking cable-stayed design, its soaring towers inspired by the curve of Gordie Howe's hockey stick, the dedicated multi-use path, making it not only an engineering achievement, but a landmark for both of our countries. This bridge was built by union laborers and tradespeople from both countries, and it's a testament to those people who built it. I want to thank you for all of the years, to all of you workers who made this happen, everything you put into this project. We've given them a good hand. Let's give them another big shout out again for all the workers. Thanks to Steve DeWitt and his team, the team that's built the bridge, the Canadian and American steel that went into its deck is really the indigenous knowledge that shaped the landscape on both sides. At the Canadian port of entry, you'll find a First Nations art installation and restored black oak savanna. Across the river, a 100-foot green buffer and public path that underscore our commitment to ecological stewardship here. Thank you for your words to make sure we live up to those commitments. A huge thanks to Chuck Anderi and the leadership team, Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority, the chair, Marie Campagna, and the board who've governed this process, the whole team at WDBA over the past decade for leading this work. And a big thanks, have to give thanks to our team in Ottawa, the Housing Infrastructure and Communities Canada team, who have been our backup for everyone on the ground here on the front lines. The benefits of this bridge really extend far beyond the incredible design of the bridge. And this new crossing features 24 inspection lanes, 16 toll lanes on the Canadian side, 36 inspection lanes in Detroit. This capacity, combined with the freeway connections from the 401 to Interstate 75 on the Michigan side, means that trucks and passenger vehicles can move seamlessly. And that faster, predictable border crossing will save carriers roughly 850,000 hours per year. That's an achievement that we look forward to. And that adds up to billions of dollars of economic savings and thousands of jobs that are secured on both sides of the border with that efficiency. This bridge, maybe most importantly of all, really improves the everyday life for the people who call this place home. I'm guessing the mayor is going to cover this base well, but the modern, efficient border stations that are served by our great folks from CBSA, vehicles and trucks are going to flow smoothly through here, away from the residential neighborhoods, reducing the congestion, improving the air quality, making the local streets safer. My understanding is that's the genesis of all this, is really making it better for the community on the ground here. And on top of that, we get enormous economic upside. There's a multi-use path that's going to give walkers and cyclists an opportunity to experience this crossing and enjoy the remarkable views of the Detroit River and the two cities here. And we are, let's hear for that. All right, we got some. The project, we're supporting our local economies. That's really at the core of this too. The project has already created approximately 2,500 good-paying jobs. The economic opportunities it unlocks will attract lots of new investment to both Windsor and Detroit and well beyond. It's expected to contribute $1.3 billion to Windsor's economy, while the investments in neighborhood infrastructure, the community projects, the environmental benefits extend way beyond the bridge itself. More than 455 students also gained hands-on learning experience and opportunities through co-op placements, helping train this next generation of skilled professionals here as well. So with this bridge, just to close, where the heart of this bridge is, we are honoring the legacy of Gordie Howe. And it's so fantastic to have the Howe family here. Many thanks. Gordie is a cherished Canadian legacy who represented the best of our country. And great to have the Howe family here to make sure we are reminded of that. We get to think of that every time we cross this bridge. Gordie spent his career bringing Canadians and Americans together through sport. And his name became synonymous with Detroit, but he remains one of Canada's most celebrated athletes. And very fittingly, he believed in hard work, resilience, and teamwork. And those are qualities that are shared by the thousands of people who built this bridge and the millions of us who live on either side of the bridge. So it's only fitting that a project connecting our two nations carries the name of someone who inspired Canadians and Americans alike. En hommage à Gordie, ce pont va relier nos travailleurs, renforcera nos économies et approfondir un partenariat qui profite à nos deux pays depuis des générations. This bridge is a game changer, just like Gordie Howe was in his day. And we prepare to welcome first crossings on Monday. Let us remember why we built this bridge: to connect our communities and our countries, to inspire and improve lives, to create and safeguard jobs, to build a resilient future, and to build Canada strong. Thank you. Merci.
Thank you, Minister Robertson. The Gordie Howe International Bridge will play an important role in Ontario's economy for years to come. It will support the movement of goods, strengthen our transportation network, and create opportunities for communities and businesses across the province. It is with the province's leadership that the Right Honourable Herb Gray Parkway was constructed, offering a direct connection to the Gordie Howe International Bridge. Please welcome the Honourable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario.
Boy, what an amazing day today. I think the weather gods are looking down on us, and I just want to thank everyone, and good morning. It's great to be here in Windsor. Yes, it is my favorite town, next to Etobicoke. That's it. So along with Chief Nicky Megwich, and thank you. Thank you for your community, First Nations community, and everything that you do. I'm here as well. I want to thank Minister. You're a champion up here. Are we going to have a little game after? You're a lot younger and you're a lot better shape than I am. So you better get the defibrillator out. And Lisa, man, I got to get you down to like a Blue Jays game. You have the most amazing voice. It was like, wow. You know, Canada has talent. Do we ever? And again, Minister Robertson, thank you. And Ambassador Wiseman, I guess you're up next. And then the mayor, you're after me. Greatest mayor ever. Wait until I get a call from the rest of the 444 mayors. I just want to thank Chuck and Marie and the entire team right here at Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority, as well as Steve DeWitt, CEO of ACS. Thank you, Steve. And all the workers that made this possible. And there's thousands of them, including those from LiUNA, the operating engineers and the iron workers, and all the people in the skilled trades. Thank you. And it's an honor to be here, joined by Murray, Marty, and Mark Howe. And I think, what is it, guys, about 30 Howe members of the family, probably a little more than 30. And I know your mom and dad would be so proud. His legacy will be here for well over 100 years. So God bless Gordie. And I know your mom, Colleen, would be as happy as anything too. And I was saying to you, Marie. I know your dad would be in the middle of that game when the kids were playing and teaching them, how to throw a little elbow and this and that. But today is such an important and long-awaited day as we finally mark the opening of the Gordie Howe Bridge. This bridge is an incredible symbol of the potential and opportunities that await workers and families on both sides of the Detroit River. When we work together across borders, just look at the relationship we enjoy. With our friends on the other side of this bridge in Michigan, and I want to emphasize, I know Canadians love Americans, and I know Americans love Canadians, and that bond will last for another over 200 years. We're each other's top trading partner. I always like saying top customer, going back and forth with over $300 billion of two-way trade right here coming across the bridge. I always say $1 billion a day crosses from here over to Ontario. Those are staggering numbers, supporting millions of jobs on both sides of the border. Together, we produce nearly a quarter of North Americans' automobiles, sharing highly integrated auto supply chains. And you've heard this saying before, with parts crossing the border up to 6-7 times before it gets assembled in one of the plants in the US or in one of the plants in Ontario. Working together, we can continue building this incredible legacy. Working together, we can make both our countries more secure and more prosperous, creating good-paying jobs and making life more affordable for workers and families. Our relationship has been challenged over the last few years, and President Trump has threatened new tariffs just this month, but Team Canada has never been more united. And I want to make it clear, working with Prime Minister Carney, will never stop standing up for Ontario and for Team Canada. Ontario will be ready to respond, and any new American tariffs will not back down and will negotiate from a position of strength as a top trading partner more than half of the United States. Because I know that both Canadians and Americans are better off when we work together instead of standing apart. That's why it is so fitting this bridge is named in Gordie Howe's honor. He was a symbol of cooperation and success in both our countries, and he was an absolute champion with deep roots on both sides of the border. Born and raised in Canada, Gordie built a legacy in Detroit, and that exemplifies the shared history of our two great jurisdictions. Gordie Howe always brought people together. His success was based on hard work, determination, and maybe, as I said, the occasional elbow. But most importantly, a commitment to teamwork. Something that has also defined Canada and the United States relationship for generations. The Gordie Howe International Bridge is more than a new landmark on the Detroit River skyline. It's an example of what we can achieve when our two great countries work together. Let's honor Gordie's legacy. Let's keep working together as two friends, allies, and proudly independent countries. I want to thank you, and may God bless the people of Canada, and may God bless the people of America. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Premier Ford. For years, the people of Windsor and Essex County have actively participated in the progression of this project, from having their voices heard at the earliest of public meetings to celebrating the landmark that now stands before us. The City of Windsor has been an important partner throughout this journey, and today represents a proud moment for everyone who calls this region home. Please welcome His Worship Drew Dilkins, Mayor of the City of Windsor.
Well, thank you very much, Chuck. Who's as happy to be here as I am today? I mean, it's been 25 years. And Murray, it's great to have you here. And I think the Premier said 30 members of the Howe family. Can the Howe family wave for some applause? You guys all made it here from across Canada. Stand up, get some applause. We are so happy to have you here. They're here from across Canada, and I'm happy to be here. You're all happy to be here, and happy to have Minister Robertson here and Premier Ford, the family of Gordie Howe, our partners at the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority and Bridging North America, and every community stakeholder gathered here today. Folks, together, side by side, in lockstep as proud Canadians, we are celebrating the monumental achievement that is the Gordie Howe International Bridge. In 2018, at the groundbreaking for this once-in-a-generation infrastructure project, I said, in the history of a community, in the story of a city, there are moments that become significant because they are informed by the past, celebrated in the present, and have the power to truly shape the future. And the groundbreaking for the Gordie Howe International Bridge is one such moment. Well, today, 8 years later, we are experiencing another one of those pivotal moments together. This bridge has risen up against ever-shifting backdrops of uncertainty, amidst a global pandemic that made crossing the border impossible, against a trade war that has amplified all that this bridge stands for. This bridge boasts an instantly iconic design and features of which we can all be incredibly proud. The longest main span of any cable-stayed bridge in North America. A transformational tool to ensure the free flow of growth and trade between Canada and the United States long after present challenges are behind us. It is a marvel of engineering. It is really a true thing of beauty. An international gateway between Canada and the United States, linking nations across the river that has always united us. And all of that is what we are celebrating here today. And all of that matters very much right at this very moment. From the start, I have said that as mayor of the city of Windsor, and certainly as a proud Canadian, I am committed to protecting Windsor's future and safeguarding our economy, our business, our workers, our families, and neighborhoods. And for a long time, folks, we have waited for the Gordie Howe International Bridge. We have waited for its design and its development, its construction and completion, and its path to today. This historic moment, as I said, is 25 years in the making. And we have worked together in the spirit of collaboration across multiple governments and councils to get here. And just think of the presidents and the prime ministers and the governors and the premiers and the mayors and the designers and the engineers, the contractors, the tradespeople, and all of the community stakeholders who have been involved every step of the way. Canada funded this $6.4 billion project to facilitate economic growth across nations and to transform cross-border trade and travel in our region, with an eye to building infrastructure that would provide redundancy for CUSMA, for automotive manufacturing, for truckers, for the economy, and more. We forged this vital link together. And I want to talk a bit about why this matters so much. Windsor is the automotive and automobility capital of Canada. Roughly 25% of Windsor's workforce is employed in manufacturing. A significant portion of that works in automotive, and our region is home to over 1,000 manufacturers and contributes about $3.8 billion to annual GDP. We are also the tool, die, and mold capital of North America, with an expertise in building that has been accumulated across generations. This region is the beating heart of trade in Canada. And every day, our auto sector, manufacturing, agriculture, and supply chains depend on us and on the continuous, uninterrupted movement of goods and services across the border. A border that fuels Windsor, that protects Ontario, and a border that powers Canada. That level of integration that exists here is unique in the world, and we want to leverage every opportunity that comes with it. We want more trade, not less. We want more jobs, not fewer, and an abundance of opportunities, not a scarcity of potential. The Gordie Howe International Bridge positions Windsor-Detroit as the premier international gateway in North America for the next century. It unlocks new opportunities for investment, for job creation, for economic growth, and it builds on the extraordinary momentum transforming our city into one of Canada's fastest growing regions. It positions Windsor-Essex at the center of a new era of trade, of tourism, investment, innovation, and long-term prosperity. And I want to acknowledge the incredible efforts of Prime Minister Mark Carney and all of Team Canada for the careful and the strategic work undertaken to get this project open and over the finish line. I'm also very, very proud of the work that they've done collectively to see this important infrastructure completed within a very complex global political environment. And Minister Robertson, thank you for being here. Thank you for you and your team for, I would call it, heroic efforts on this file and the investment that it took to secure our future. And of course, to my good friend, Premier Doug Ford, for being Captain Canada. The Ontario government always has Windsor's back for their partnership, for their commitment to protecting Ontario in all ways, including here at our border. And I want to thank, and this is really important, guys, I want to thank the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority. It was mentioned, but what they had to do on again, off again, and the work that they've had to go through, and bridging North America, dealing with a pandemic, dealing with supply chain shortages, all of the things that they had to do to get us to this very moment. Chuck and Heather and the entire team and the board at the WDBA, congratulations. This is a moment you truly deserve. And thank you to Murray Howe. Thank you, Murray, and to the family of Gordie Howe for sharing the proud name and legacy of a man who inspired so many. I texted Murray this week and I said, I just would like to know if your dad were still with us, who would be on the top of his check into the boards list right about now? He didn't answer. He's a gentleman. He didn't answer, but I think we all know who that person might be if we were going to check, if Gordie was going to check one person into the board. But Gordie Howe was a man who showed what is possible when you strive for excellence and when you carry its lessons of respect, of kindness, and of tenacity through every aspect of life. And I want to thank every one of you who are here today, the workers who are here, who are going to staff this operation. You're so important on the front line of Canada's security, and you've got this beautiful new facility. We're so proud of you and everyone whose hands helped move this process forward over the last 25 years. You certainly represent and you show the united spirit that we have as Canada and between two nations. Now, over the last 2 weeks and during times of incredible uncertainty in the world, Windsor has marked significant milestone achievements. The assembling of the additional lands to complete the National Urban Park at Ojibwe, the groundbreaking of the new regional acute care Fancy Family Hospital, and now today, the celebration of the opening of the Gordie Howe International Bridge. And this is exactly what I mean when I say that I've never been more excited about the future of our community than I am today. It is all of these things happening and coming together. They're coming together and we're standing together. We're standing against uncertainty, against threats, against bullies. We're united as Windsorites, we're united as Ontarians, and we're united as Canadians. And as I finish off here, let me just show appreciation to all of my colleagues on City Council. Most of them are here today, and it was this City Council and for the last literally 25 years of successive city councils who stood with this community, who fought for a better solution, whether it was the Herb Gray Parkway, whether it was the location of this bridge, whether it was making sure that we could walk and ride our bike across the bridge. I told Ambassador Wiseman, we haven't been able to do that for 50 years in this community, and people are really darn excited about the opportunity to do that starting on August the 5th. And to all of you for having our backs, for pushing us and making sure that we have a great solution, not just for our community, but something we can be proud of as Canadians. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Dilkins. Turning a vision into reality requires innovation and determination. The cable stayed structure behind us in this 130-acre port of entry where we stand today reflects years of planning, engineering excellence, and construction expertise truly at the highest level. The design and construction team has played a critical role, contributing more than 20 million hours of work to deliver this infrastructure project. Please welcome Steve DeWitt, Chief Executive Officer of ACS Infrastructure, representing our private sector partner, Bridging North America.
Good morning. Well, good afternoon. I think it is by now, but what a wonderful, wonderful day. You probably can't tell because I look so young, but I've been in this industry about 45 years, and I've worked on a lot of projects across North America. And I will tell you, the project that sits behind me is really a milestone, a cap of my career in terms of things I've been involved in. not just because of the engineering and the construction, but more importantly because of the impact of what it will have on the community in which it's built. Time will tell, but I have no doubt that the future holds great, great things for the communities here. My family origins are bound in the history of this region. My great-great-grandparents immigrated from the Netherlands in the mid-1800s and helped settle in an area not far from here. As a young boy on a trip to the Upper Peninsula in Michigan, I remember standing on the shore somewhere on a drizzly, foggy morning holding my dad's hand, looking up in awe at this massive structure that disappeared into the mist. That structure was the Mackinac Bridge. And as I became a civil engineer, not a politician, I'm a civil engineer, years later, I hadn't forgotten that misty morning. And I learned the stories of how it and other major projects overcame so many challenges to make them happen. Stories of engineering, leadership, and perseverance. This project now becomes one of those great landmark stories. It is truly a modern engineering marvel. And that little boy of almost 60 years ago is so very honored. I am so very honored to be standing here before you, representing the partners of Bridging North America, ACS Infrastructure, Flatiron Dragados, Fluor, and AECOM, as we open the Gordie Howe International Bridge. The engineering challenges today are very different, very, very different from the landmark projects of the past. Design, construction, and safety concepts have advanced dramatically. But major infrastructure has not become simpler. In many ways, it's become more demanding. The leadership and all who have worked on it have brought this project to reality by meeting these many demands head on. It required complex engineering, deep collaboration, patience, great patience from the communities involved, trust from public sector partners, and highly skilled workers. This is not, no doubt, a simple project. At the peak of construction, thousands and thousands of people showed up here literally every day. Engineers, electricians, iron workers, carpenters, laborers, and so many others whose expertise and dedication made today possible. Their work carried out safely with high quality, and I can assure you real pride in what they've done here, is literally embedded in every element of where we stand today. As you've already heard, this is now the longest cable-stayed bridge main span in North America, which is quite a testament to what it is. But it is so much more than a bridge. It includes the largest combined ports of entry on the Canadian-U.S. border, an extensive roadway network, and the technology and operations that will keep one of North America's most important trade corridors moving. And as we all know, great infrastructure isn't just measured in concrete, steel, and cable. It's really measured in its ultimate purpose, which is opportunity. Jobs created, businesses supported, supply chains strengthened, communities connected, and prosperity for today, tomorrow, and many generations to come. On behalf of Bridging North America, we're proud not to only have helped deliver this landmark, but also to be entrusted with its operation and maintenance for the next 30 years. We will keep this crossing safe, reliable, and a vital link between our two countries. On the Canadian side, the port of entry ties directly into the Right Honorable Herb Gray Parkway, another project developed and maintained by ACS and Fluor, two key members of this team, creating a seamless transportation corridor across the international boundary. We truly treasure our role in this community, and we look forward to watching the impacts of our contributions unfold as the years go by. To the communities of Windsor and Detroit, our government partners, Indigenous partners, local businesses, community organizations, all, thank you so much for helping make this project reality. A little bit of a side note, I had the opportunity to meet Dr. Howe with the Howe family, and I've known of Gordie Howe like we all have for many years, and the thing that stands out to me is I know what little I know of his story is the perseverance and the drive and the intensity of his life and his career, and I'd like to believe that's what helped bring this to fruition, and I think that's probably why it's got the name that it does, so Dr. Howe. So again, thank you to all, and again, what a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. The Gordie Howe International Bridge is also a reminder of the importance of building infrastructure that serves people, communities, and economies. Its impact extends well beyond this site. Today, we welcome someone who understands the significance of this crossing and the importance of maintaining strong relationships across borders and communities. Please welcome His Excellency Mark Wiseman, Ambassador of Canada to the United States.
Good afternoon. Je suis très heureux d'être ici parmi vous à Windsor pour célébrer l'inauguration du pont international Gordie Howe. And I will tell you, this is the only time you will ever catch me wearing a Detroit Red Wings jersey. I want to acknowledge and thank a few people for attending today's ceremony. First and foremost, Colin Bird, who has worked tirelessly on this project and is next month completing a 4-year tenure at the helm of Canada's consulate in Detroit, representing Canada and Canadians and bridging our communities and businesses on both sides of the border. Thank you, Colin. And I'm equally delighted to recognize Andrea Clements, the current head of our Trade Commissioner Service with me in Washington, D.C., and who will become shortly Colin's successor as our Consul General here in the Detroit-Windsor area. And by the way, she's from Windsor. I also want to thank Christine Burr, Chair of the International Authority for the Gordie Howe International Bridge, Marie Campagna, Board Chair of the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority, for their relentless dedication overseeing the completion of this project. Now, a little bit of regional history. Believe it or not, it was on this very day, July the 24th, in 1701, that Antoine de la Mothe Cadillac chose this strait between the two lakes as a critical outpost for the fur trade, following in a long tradition of commerce and trade between First Nations at this intersection of the Great Lakes. He named it Fort Pontchartrain du Detroit. It just became Detroit today. And his name, Cadillac, later became an emblematic brand for this region. What was once a small fur trading settlement has grown into one of the busiest border crossings and most important trade routes in the world. Now, I want to talk about our partnership with the United States and the state of Michigan. This achievement, having one of the most fluid and secure, high-volume border crossings in the world, is a testament to the long-standing partnership between Canada, the United States, and the state of Michigan. Where we stand today is truly one region. It is a place of two nations with a shared community. And this iconic bridge, and man, it's a nice-looking bridge. It really is. Stands as a symbol of our promise to future generations. We are investing in infrastructure that enables resiliency and improves the secure and efficient movement of people and goods for decades and decades to come. Our two countries' integrated industries continue to strengthen each other and our ability to compete in increasingly competitive international markets. Two-way merchandise and trade between Canada and Michigan alone reached close to $65 billion last year. And most of that moves by truck right here in southwestern Ontario and the southeast Michigan region. And as of Monday, across this bridge. Now, as was said earlier, beyond trade, Canadians and Michiganders have a lot in common. We're friends, neighbors, and in many cases in this region, we are literally family. Thousands of people regularly commute across the border to go to work each and every day, to dine, to attend the Windsor International Film Festival, or to catch a game at Little Caesars Arena. And speaking of sports, this region shares a long tradition around the great game of hockey. We love the game, and so do our friends in Hockeytown, USA. It's a rivalry, but it's also camaraderie. In fact, the Detroit Red Wings and my Toronto Maple Leafs have met 23 times in the playoffs and 7 times in the Stanley Cup Finals. And there's no better symbol of this kinship than Gordie Howe. In fact, I watched Gordie Howe play when I was a young man, a boy actually. Sorry, Howe brothers, I saw you play too. I was a young boy when you were still playing hockey. But Gordie Howe had Canadian roots, but his legacy will always be in Detroit. Mr. Hockey in Hockeytown, USA, embodied grit on the ice with a generous spirit and a deep respect for people. Thank you to his family for being here with us today as we honor this true statement of binational history and friendship. And as I look at the people gathered here today, I want to join Minister Robertson in thanking everyone who worked day in and day out to make this feat of engineering a reality, including our friends and colleagues from the United States, from Michigan. 14 years of dedicated work around a vision of shared prosperity to make our freight corridors more fluid and resilient, and to bring our two communities and our two countries even closer together. I look at people here from the private sector, from government, from labor, from civil society who've done the work to build, to create jobs, to grow businesses. And starting Monday, their hard work and persistence will begin to pay off, building this regional economy to be even stronger and more resilient. To the farmers who feed our communities and export their grain, the manufacturers who have developed some of the world's most efficient cross-border supply chains, and of course, the truckers, the drivers of our economy that deliver 24/7 to connect suppliers, customers, and consumers. In fact, there are nearly 3 million trucks crossing between Windsor and Detroit each and every year, carrying about 25% of all goods traded between Canada and the United States. Over its expected lifespan of 125 years, the Gordie Howe International Bridge will become one of the main economic arteries of the Great Lakes region, making a meaningful investment in our long-term prosperity and friendship. C'est un grand privilège d'être ici pour inaugurer ce nouveau pont que nous avons tant attendu, ce nouveau passage vital entre nous deux rêves. Merci beaucoup, and congratulations to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Wiseman. Last but not least, few names are more closely connected to this bridge than the one it proudly carries. Gordie Howe's accomplishments made him a legend, but it was his character, humility, and work ethic that earned him the admiration of generations. Speaking on behalf of the Howe family, it is now my privilege to welcome Dr. Murray Howe.
In 1966, in Saskatoon, there was a Gordie Howe Day. The first thing my dad did when he came to the stage is he invited his entire family to come up and enjoy the speech with him. So I'd like to invite up our family. We've only got 30 of us here. No pressure, but would love it if you want to come up, especially our grandkids. It'll take a hot moment, but anybody can do a seventh inning stretch, actually a ninth inning stretch if they'd like. If we don't have room all on the platform, some can be in front or on the sides. We're just going to work this out. This is a teamwork makes the dream work. They are all way better looking than I am, so I thought I'm sprucing up the scene a little bit. Okay. Are we all here? Raise your hand if you're not. Okay. Oh, hello, Leila's here. All right. Mesdames et messieurs, de la part de la famille Howe, j'aimerais remercier les Canadiens, ainsi que l'Américain, le Premier ministre Carney, le Président Trump, le ministre Robertson, le Premier Ford, Ambassadeur Wiseman, le maire Dilkins, et Monsieur DeWitt, pour ce grand honneur. Ladies and gentlemen, it is such an honor and a pleasure to be here with all of you today, surrounded by so many great friends and family. I'm grateful to the good Lord for this moment, for bringing us all together to celebrate Mr. Hockey on this truly once-in-a-lifetime occasion. On behalf of the entire Howe family, we would like to thank the great people of Canada and the United States, along with Prime Minister Carney, President Trump, Minister Robertson, Premier Ford, Ambassador Wiseman, Mayor Dilkins, Mr. DeWitt, the leaders of the indigenous nations for allowing us to be here, as well as the outstanding team at the Windsor-Detroit Bridge Authority, especially Heather Grondin, who I texted and called every day for the last month or so. The incredibly talented Douglas Coupland and his lighting team. I cannot wait to see those lights. And all the courageous workers who sacrificed to construct this magnificent engineering masterpiece. In 1912, at the tender age of 17, our grandmother Katie left her home in Germany in hopes of a better life. She boarded a ship, sailed across the Atlantic, and ended up in Windsor, Ontario, which she made her home for the following 3 years. She then received word the rest of her family settled in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, so she boarded a train bound for her destiny. Soon after, she met our grandfather Albert at a hoedown. He was playing the fiddle, she was playing guitar. They made great music together and were soon married. They had 11 children, one of whom they named Gordie. In 1944, at the tender age of 16, a young Gordie Howe boarded a train bound for Windsor, Ontario, in hopes of a tryout with the Detroit Red Wings. I'm pleased to report he made the club. Soon after, he met our mother, Colleen, at the Lucky Strike bowling alley. It was love at first strike. They were soon married, and they made Detroit their home. And how fitting the Gordie Howe Bridge spans from the Howe's first home to our final home. Our parents loved life, and they loved people. They dedicated their lives to building bridges between people, between families, between communities, and between nations. This bridge will serve as an unmistakable symbol of the priceless bond and true friendship between the people of Canada and the people of the United States. For us, you've always been and will always be family. In 2015, when it was announced that the bridge would be named for our father, I showed Mr. Hockey some renderings, what the bridge would look like and where it would be built. In classic, humble, Gordie Howe fashion, he just smiled and said, "Well, that sounds pretty good to me." As a family, we are so grateful that our father was able to experience such a profound expression of love, reverence, and gratitude in the twilight of his life. We are truly humbled by the immensity of this bridge, and even more so by the immensity of this honor. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you all.
Thank you so much, Murray. And thank you to all the speakers for helping us mark this historic occasion. Today, we have reflected on the journey that brought us here, but no bridge is designed solely by its height, its span, or the engineering that brought it to life. Its true measure is found in the people who made it possible. Thousands of contributors overcame challenges, reached milestones, and never lost sight of the goal. Hundreds of community members, business leaders, and elected officials attended meetings, provided meaningful input, and shaped the project. Their efforts have created something that will serve Canadians for generations and will stand as a lasting reminder of what we could accomplish together. Thank you. And lastly, congratulations to everyone, and truly thank you for being part of this historic day.